Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today I'm taking a look at the new AX size 3 weapons, both the missile rack here as well as the multi-cannon. Now these are not widely available at the moment as far as I could tell. You can get them at the Founders World, or if you haven't got the permit for there, you can get them at HIP 14997 at Zelazny Hub. Now you can see the hardpoint placements here, and again that was recommended to me. The multi-cannons up on the top, the missile racks underneath. I've also got 2 flak launchers, but I haven't had to use them. And you can see here I'm using bi-weave shields, completely at the moment unengineered. Now the strange thing is, I had thought I had got the shields engineered, and I thought I did that just the other day, but perhaps I didn't apply the role for whatever reason. The shield boosters are engineered, and I'm just heading here to Palin to get grade 5 dirty drives. Now if you've spent any amount of time out here recently in the Pleiades Star Cluster, then you'll know there's quite a lot of activity going on, and this includes alien Thargoid activity as well as human activity. Of course, the human activity isn't just down to player stuff, this is also due to various NPC actions going on within the game. We know Aegis are very active out here with their various space stations, and we'll get to that in just a bit, but here also is one of the new science vessels. Now this was created as the result of a community goal by the Candy Crew Guild. What's interesting about this particular science vessel is that it isn't static. It does jump around and will go from system to system conducting its research. Unfortunately that doesn't mean too much in the way of gameplay just yet, but it does mean that you'll see this move around, or be able to find it at least in different locations. And there's a travel log here. Apparently if you scan the ship itself, or the uplink data point on the ship itself, which unfortunately I didn't do, it will give you a list of all its destinations that it's yet to fly to. So yes, we know that megaships can and do move. The question is, to what purpose? The entire reason for outfitting the Anaconda here with the anti-Thargoid weaponries is of course to take on the Thargoids themselves, and you'll have seen me do this a fair bit in my Federal gunship, but I haven't tried it yet in any larger ship. So this is the first attempt, and it went spectacularly badly. Yes, I forgot to fit the Xeno scanner, so without that there's no seeing the Thargoid hearts or even its hull information, but it did give me an opportunity just to sit here, take a little bit of damage, and take in the sight of the Thargon swarm. It also gave me an opportunity to test out the AX fighters again here, not for the purpose of attacking the Thargons or the Thargoids, but simply to see how effective it is at distraction. And I've got to admit, it is very effective at distraction, and that is the primary reason I don't use the flag launchers. So then, the whole point of this entire exercise is to see whether or not now is a good time for everyone to come out here and start taking on the Thargoids, if they so desire, and if they haven't yet tried to do so. As far as I can tell, there's 2 main reasons people haven't taken on the Thargoids, or 3 if you consider the distance. The others are the sheer strength of the Thargoids here, and the fact that you do need quite a powerful ship to do it, and the third being the fact that some people just don't want to get involved in combat. They'd like a more peaceful solution, and I'll talk about that particular aspect more towards the end of the video. Now this isn't a guide to Thargoid combat because, well, there's some very good guides out there already and some people who excel at doing this sort of thing. So as I said, the whole idea is just to see how effective the size 3s are, as well as give people a bit of an idea as to whether or not they want to come and try this out for themselves, or if this is a good time. So a few volleys of missiles, and you can see the first heart is exposed. As soon as I got into this instance, before I even scanned the Thargoid, I actually deployed the fighter, and I found that having a fighter out there, an AX fighter, is a good alternative to using the flak cannons or the flak launchers. I don't go after the Thargons myself. Instead I let the AX fighter take care of them, and sometimes they can completely destroy them. And if they don't do that, then they serve as a very good distraction, as I said. So if you're quick here at the start, the first heart is very easy to take care of. It gets a little bit more difficult after that, but not hugely so. The entire idea of the Aegis initiative, of course, is for an arms race, and that means equipping our ships with ever increasing more powerful weapons. And they actually do a very good job. Now I've found whenever you take out one of the hearts, one of the better things to do is just turn around and run. What happens is that the Thargoid goes into a bit of an angry mode. He'll put up his shields and really start hammering into you. So if you're out of range, you can just stay out of there until the shields go down. They only actually last for a little while. The alternative, of course, is to use regular weapons to slowly deplete his shields. but in doing so you will take probably a bit of damage. Doing it this way, I've managed to avoid all caustic missiles so far. Now, some of you may be wondering how or when I got an Anaconda. For those of you who have been watching my live streams, you'll be well aware of how and when that happened, as both outfitting as well as engineering the Anaconda has been the subject of both recent streams. Now you can see here at this point I've already taken out 2 Thargoid hearts. This is the 3rd one, and I've still got quite a huge chunk of hull left. The shields do wear out quite quickly, and that's because they're not engineered, as you noticed at the start, and I don't have any shield cell blanks. I didn't bother outfitting them. Now, none of this is to say that the Cyclops fight is an easy fight. That's not the case by any means, but it is a very enjoyable fight and quite a challenging fight, but you will need a modicum of skill in order to participate out here. Now, the chances are that you may end up losing a ship or two, or coming very close to losing a ship, but if you're careful and you mark the time at which you need to run away, maybe down at 30% or whatever, that is a good time to try and make your escape, then you really shouldn't lose a ship at all. There's no reason to do that. So bottom line, if you haven't done so already and you have the desire to do so, now is a very good time to come out here and engage with the Thargoids. It's certainly one of the best PvE fights in the game, the other being the Basilisk fight. And although the Basilisk has been taken down solo, it's very rare to be able to do that and will generally require a wing. So I understand completely, and I've talked about it before, the way the 2.4 content has been rolled out so far. And whilst I do agree and feel exactly the same, that is somewhat problematic and it is a little bit slow paced and there's perhaps not enough content just yet, what is here, these Thargoid fights are very, very impressive, and even after a few fights I find myself keep wanting to come back to engage with more. But what about those players that want something other than combat? Well, as yet, in terms of gameplay, there's still nothing really present in the game. Some people like to come out here and watch the Thargoids. Other people come out here and either give them occupied escape pods or retrieve them. Either way, we have no idea what the Thargoids want with human escape pods, but maybe they're taking them to a better place. Yet somehow that seems a little bit unlikely. At any rate, the non-combat Thargoid orientated content is very much lacking, or not at all present. However, there is a glimmer of hope here. In a recent Galnet article, one of the characters, Professor Alba Tezaru, the Chief Science Officer for Aegis, actually announced that they're going to be deploying a number of scientific laboratories out here in the Pleiades Star Cluster, and the idea behind these is to come up with a peaceful solution towards the Thargoids. The question, of course, is whether or not that news article is going to translate into gameplay. Quite often, Galnet articles are merely background news or background information, but sometimes, as with pretty much all the other Aegis news articles, they have translated into in-game events, the deployment of space stations out here, as well as the development of Aegis weapons. Either way, one thing is certain, combat with the aliens is going to continue. It's something a lot of people enjoy, and it really isn't that hard to see why. Yet, as things move forward, many people, myself included, would like to see this idea of basically coming up with peaceful solutions towards the Thargoids taken a little bit further and actually becoming a reality within the game. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.